What is a successful retirement? What are the key components of a successful retirement? Well, that was the last chapter in my book, 3D Retirement Income. And so to wrap up this year, as we've talked a lot about investing and retirement and all these other things, thought we'd go ahead and just read that chapter of the book again, just as a way to kind of close out the year. If you haven't read it before, there's a couple things in this chapter that may not make sense to you because it's kind of assuming that you've read the rest of the book, right, as it closes it out. But most of it can kind of stand alone, or at least it ties back into some of the things that we do talk about exclusively here on the podcast. Of course, this book is available to all retirement members for free. So if you haven't read it, you can obviously get the whole thing as well. And even if you have already read it or already listened to it on audiobook and you've been through this, I think there's always some helpful reminders. I'm a big advocate of rereading good books and rereading the same messages over and over again so that we internalize them. And I think there might be some things in here for it, even if you've already listened to it. So we're going to go ahead and read through this together, and that's going to be the episode for today. So chapter 13 is on a successful retirement, living and leaving a legacy. In the end, it's not the years of your life that count. It is the life in your years. Abraham Lincoln. Flip this book over and read the headline on the back cover. Turn your nest egg into an income to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. That is the goal. A successful retirement from start to finish. The tagline is not only for this book. It is also used in my podcast, Retire Mentorship, your mentor to and through retirement, helping you retire successfully and stay successfully retired. Planning for people to achieve this result is the mission of my financial planning practice, Lacrosse Financial Planning. My professional calling is to guide people to this glorious outcome. Anyone can retire successfully, but not everyone will stay successfully retired. Far too many people will trade long-term uncertainty for short-term security and fall prey to their mortal enemy, inflation. These people will not stay successfully retired. The fear that this outcome will cause many more people to delay retirement for so long that they miss out on precious years. These people did not retire successfully. I aim to help you do both through this book on retirement income, my podcasts on growing knowledge, deepening belief, and inspiring action, and my planning practice for people to reduce taxes, invest wisely, and retire secure, among many other outcomes. So what do we mean, though, by a successful retirement? I focus on working with people within 10 years of retirement on either side, right? 10 years from retiring or 10 years into retirement. My experience in working with this demographic and reading the relevant literature and studies suggests that 4 primary elements contribute to a successful retirement. They are relationships, health, security, and impact. Let's unpack each one. Relationships. Humans are relational beings. We are built to be in relationship with other people. Look no further than having children. Stack up the costs of raising children in money, time, and energy and weigh them against the economic benefits. The score will surely be 1 million to 1. We don't do it for the economic benefits. We do it for the relationships. People with strong and healthy relationships in retirement are happier, more satisfied, and report deeper levels of joy and fulfillment. In all this discussion around retirement finances, do not forget that money is not the goal. Money funds the goal. Relationships are the goal. People with healthy relationships in the following 4 categories have the most successful retirement. Number 1, relationship with God. Those who have a deep and abiding relationship with God have a joy and peace that surpasses understanding. I'm not talking about religious rhythm or superficial masquerade. I mean a genuine relationship that exhibits the best parts of human relationships, lacks all the bad, and encompasses aspects you cannot experience anywhere else. Knowing God personally and walking with Jesus through daily life enhances it and fulfills a deep intrinsic need. And the peace of knowing and believing not just where you will go when you die, but with whom you will be, provides security no money can buy. Your hope is not in your money, banks, insurance companies, equities, or the economy, or governments. Nothing can shake you. If you've never experienced a relationship with God, I urge you in the strongest possible terms to start that journey now. You can add religion too if you want, but first and foremost, it is the relationship that we want. He is the one constant in an ever-changing and volatile world. For those of us who are in a relationship with Him already, do not neglect Him. Abide with Him and pursue Him in return. It will pay bigger dividends than any equity fund ever could. RetireMentorship.com/books provides a list of books I'd recommend if you want to start or deepen a relationship with Jesus. Number 2, relationship with spouse. If you're married, your spouse can be a great source of joy or great strife, and maybe some of both. Those with great spousal relationships report retirement satisfaction far more than those in poor marriages. Doesn't matter how much money you have if you're miserable with the one with whom you're spending. There are many jokes and cartoons about spouses who have recently retired, most revolving around all the time you now spend together. Beyond the humor, one of the largest demographics for divorce is recent retirees. Without work to distract them, they realize they don't like being together anymore, and many choose not to fix it. Surely the grass is greener in another pasture. We have a misguided view of marriage that supposes that it should be easy, it isn't much work, and there isn't anything else we can learn about it after so many years together. Wrong on all 3 counts. Everything worthwhile is hard and a lot of work. And the only profession that hears the phrase, "I wish we had known this years ago," more than financial planners, is marriage counselors. Invest in your marriage. Go to conferences. Read good books about it together or with a group of friends. The book list mentioned above will contain recommendations for relationships as well. Start there. Relationship with children and grandchildren. The number of jet-setting retirees who give up sunny beaches and warm breezes to settle in the frigid Midwest is to be close to the grandchildren when they arrive is all the proof I need that relationships trump money. I kind of butchered that. Let me do that again. The number of jet-setting retirees who give up sunny beaches and warm breezes to settle in the frigid Midwest to be close to grandchildren when they arrive is all the proof I need that relationships trump money. If you have great relationships with your children and grandchildren, you don't need me to talk about it or encourage you to invest in those relationships. You already are. This is a primary motivation for me to help people retire successfully. Far too many work far longer than they must and miss out on relational experiences with their spouse, children, and grandchildren. Usually they are paying expensive insurance products and are loaded up with fixed income investments. You either need to save up a lot more or make your retirement much shorter by working longer so that the poor returns of fixed income products can support a rising income. A 3D retirement income matched with a comprehensive financial plan enables people to retire sooner and enjoy their relationships more. Money is not the goal. Money funds the goal. And lastly, number 4, relationships with friends. This relational category suffers for people who retire. Far too many people realize that their coworkers aren't truly their friends until they no longer work together. They can spend so much time working around people that we forget that we won't see them anymore on a daily basis when we retire. Invest in genuine friendships. Those who have real friendships and community live longer and happier lives than those who watch television in solitude. All the money in the world, it can't make you happy or your retirement successful if you don't have great relationships. Invest in those relationships. Invest time, energy, and yes, money into relationships. The only thing better than owning the best businesses in the world is owning or having the best relationships in the world. Health. Even good relationships are hard to enjoy with prematurely declining health. If you aren't healthy enough to enjoy your retirement, how can we call that a success? Invest in your health. No, I really mean invest. Pay money to get and stay healthy. Far too many people are overly concerned with funding their retirement accounts and not concerned enough with cultivating their health. Don't confuse health insurance with health care. Care is what you need to get and stay healthy. Insurance is a method for paying for it. In the United States, we spend too much on our health insurance and not nearly enough on our health care. Invest in your health. Spend money on a health coach if you are not currently healthy. But it's expensive. Not as expensive as a triple bypass surgery. Financial planning helps you pay the least amount of taxes over your lifetime to keep more of your money in your pocket and leave the IRS weeping. It also helps you pay the least amount of health care over your lifetime. It can do this by helping you to get the right insurance, sure, but part of that equation should be this conversation. Chuck, we have two health plans for you, A and B. With option A, we can spend $600 per month on this health insurance plan and $200 per month in prescription medications for the rest of your life. With option B, we can advance you $300 per month to get a personal trainer and a health coach and increase your grocery budget by $200 to increase the health quality of your food. That should get you to a healthy place inside of a year. We can then drop all those expensive medications you're taking and get you onto a $200 per month insurance plan. We'll reduce your health coach budget to $100 for maintenance and keep the $200 for groceries. Option A is going to cost you $800 per month for the rest of your life plus inflation. That's about $420,000 over your lifetime. That's talking to a 60-year-old. And we haven't factored in any ambulance rides. Option B will cost you $500 more per month in the first year, but then only $500 per month after that. That's going to cost you about $270,000 over your lifetime. $420,000 versus $270,000, about $150,000 savings. You'll feel much better and save $150,000 to boot. There's a few extra vacations, gifts, and experiences I think you can spend that money on. Your health is one of your greatest assets. It costs less to keep it than it does to get it back. Do not be afraid to spend money on your wellness. You will enjoy retirement more and save money by being healthy. That's why it is the second ingredient in a successful retirement. Number 3, security. Financial security is the driving force behind many decisions. One's appetite for risk wanes and their desire for security waxes as they age. A misguided sense of security causes so many to rely on fixed income. People believe that the stock market losses are their biggest problem, being taught that equity investing is risky. They reduce their equity holdings and buy annuities and other insurance products to protect against market losses. They have confused volatility with risk and a temporary decline with a permanent loss. These categorical differences require revisiting one last time. Value versus currency. We conflate value with currency. Money or currency is the actual cash and deposits we own. Most of our assets will not be in currency, but instead are in assets that are worth money. Your ownership interests in the best businesses are not currency. They are worth money. They have value, but are not currency. The great concern with our equity ownership is that we can constantly see the fluctuations in their value. Every time equities go up, our value increases. Every time they go down, our value drops. But we have not truly gained or lost money. Consider your home. It also fluctuates in value. Your house's value isn't purely a function of the cost of wood, windows, shakes, and shingles. Your home's value is primarily a function of what someone else is willing to pay for it. I'm convinced that if we saw the value of our home posted above our door, and saw that fluctuate each day, fewer people would buy. Suppose you purchase your home for $200,000. Some years later, you want to move and you post it for sale at $280,000. You get many showings the first weekend and offers pour in around $300,000. The value of your home has increased by $100,000. Have you made $100,000? No, you only gain when you sell. It's currently an unrealized gain. It is an asset that is worth more, but you don't have the money until you have the currency. A storm rolls in overnight while you're deliberating on offers. Lightning strikes the house next door and it burns to the ground. The family was away and no one was injured, but it left a smoking crater where the house used to be. What is more, the heat of the fire melted the siding on the side of your house and singed your lawn. Due to the damage to your house and the eyesore next door, all the offers on your house immediately rescinded before you had a chance to accept any of them. Insurance will cover the siding on your home and the grass will grow back, but that doesn't stop the offers from disappearing. You still want to move though, so you keep the house on the market. But now the offers are for much less, around $220,000. Overnight you lost $80,000 on your home. They were offering $300,000. Now they're only offering $220,000. So you lost $80,000. Or did you? First, you bought the house for $200,000. Even selling it at $220,000 would be a gain. You haven't lost anything in that sense. But you wouldn't want to sell it at that price knowing it had just been worth far more. Second, you haven't lost anything. The value of your home, as measured by what people are willing to pay for it, has temporarily decreased. You only lose if you sell. Instead of selling it for $220,000, you pull it off the market and you wait. Insurance pays a contractor to reside your house, the whole thing. You get brand new siding in an updated and trendy color. The grass grows back, a crew comes and completely rebuilds the neighbor's house. Frankly, it was a bit outdated, and the new house brightens the neighborhood. The street is back to normal. You put your house back up for sale, and offers pour in, and you sell the house for $320,000. You have realized a $120,000 profit on your home in cash. You weathered the storm, literally, and came out ahead on the other side. You never lost any money. The value of your home fluctuated. But waiting until the value of your home recovered, you were able to sell it later for more money. The same is true of your equities. Their value will fluctuate, but you only make or lose money when you sell. If you sell them high, you make money. You never lose money if you avoid selling your equities while their value is low. Suppose you didn't have the luxury of waiting for your neighborhood to recover before selling your house. Suppose you had to sell it because you had to move and your financial condition was such that you could not maintain the mortgage payment on it for 6 months to wait for the $100,000 increase in value. That would be a shame. Those whose financial condition is so poor that they cannot wait for their equities to recover before selling, and those who lack the temperament or an advisor to keep them from selling, will lose. And that's a shame. 3D Retirement Income provides the framework to fix your financial condition so that you will never have to sell low. A trusted financial planner will help ensure that you don't get slain by the 4 horsemen. Don't confuse your value with currency. Value fluctuates, but your lifetime money will continue to grow right with the right plan. Time and risk. Over time, the risk of red bucket and blue bucket is the opposite. Equity volatility, the chance that your red bucket or equity bucket will temporarily decrease in value, is high in the short term. But the chance decreases to the point of vanishing in the long run that the value declines below your principal. Inflation, the certainty that costs will increase permanently, is low in the short term. But over time, your mortal enemy will slowly gobble up the value of your blue bucket. Over your lifetime, inflation is the greater risk, and fixed income is the riskier asset. We carry only enough blue bucket to carry us through the very short-term chance of temporary decline. The rest is placed in this red bucket to earn the permanent ascent of equities. This generates true long-term security. Thus, 3D Retirement Income provides financial security no other strategy can. An income that outpaces inflation, outlives you, and outperforms others. There's one final element that makes up a successful retirement, and it's impact. The best legacy is not solely the one you leave, but the one you live. The best legacy is not solely the one you leave, but the one you live. You have a chance to leave an impact on the ones you love, your community, and perhaps even the world. You live and leave that legacy in 2 ways. First, you invest your time, energy, and money into meaningful relationships. 3D Retirement Income will provide the money, you must provide the time and energy. Second, you leave an impact through the generous giving to causes you care about. This book is mainly about the 3 dimensions of income, right? Direction, income that grows faster than the cost of living. Duration, income that lasts longer than you and yours. And diversion, income that flexes better than the stock market. But there is a 4th dimension, one only possible when you have the first 3. And that is donation, income that impacts greater than any other. Booker T. Washington said that those who are the happiest are those who do the most for others. Or as Dave Ramsey puts it, giving is the most fun you can have with money. The most common reason cited for why people don't give money is we don't have enough for ourselves. We know this isn't true because there's no correlation between how much money you make and how generous you are with it. I know families that make $40,000 a year and who faithfully give 10% of their gross earnings. And I know families who make $400,000 per year who don't give a dime. I know this for a fact because I prepare their taxes, and there's a big fat zero on the line for charitable giving deduction available to everyone. To be a generous person, you must want to be generous. Whether or not you give is not correlated with your income. If you want to live and leave a legacy as a generous person, that starts with a fundamental mindset shift about money. Money is not the goal, money funds the goal. If accumulating money is your only goal during your working life, you will not be generous while earning it. And if protecting and preserving your money in retirement is your only goal, you will not be generous while living on it. But if impact is your goal, if living and leaving a legacy of love for those close to you and support of causes you care about is your goal, then you will want to be generous. Whether or not you give is not correlated with your income. But if you are a giver, how much you can give is completely tied to your income. As generous as the family is who gives 10% of $40,000, and I could go on and on about how genuinely generous they are, $4,000 per year can only do so much. 3D retirement income provides an income that outperforms others. An equity-based income that realizes its trendline returns will undoubtedly outperform a fixed or flat annuity-based income. You will have more income to make a more significant impact following this strategy. In the Bible, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. A wealthy businessman gives three employees talents, which is a valuable form of currency in the day. He instructs them to get a return on his money while he is away. He gives 10 talents to the first, 5 talents to the second, and 1 to the third. Think of it as like $10,000, $5,000, and $1,000. The first two go out, invest the money, and double what was given to them. And the boss is very pleased and gives them great promotions. The third employee returns the 1 talent that the boss gave him. Instead of investing the talent, he buried it because he did not want to lose it. He buried it because he did not want to lose it. And that employee was fired. But this is precisely what so many retired people do. You have an extraordinary ability to live and leave a legacy of love and blessing to the world around you. But because we are afraid of losing our money, we bury it in banks and bonds and CDs and annuities. We don't invest it. We don't attempt to increase our impact, and we don't try to win. We only try to avoid losing. But you can do so much more. What if, instead of a flat annuity income, you had a rising income that grew faster than your need for it? What if instead of a strategy that only supported a 4% safe withdrawal rate, you had one that allowed you to withdraw 5% or as much as 6 or 7% in good years? What if you gave that money away? What if you made an impact? 4D income. 4D retirement income provides the opportunity to create an impact beyond what any other strategy can support. You can give more while you are alive and leave more when you pass. Flip this book over and look at the front and back cover together in one image. It is, in fact, one image. You see a series of mountain ranges from the far left of the back cover all the way up to the spine. It ranges from let's see here. You see a series of mountain ranges from the far left on the back cover to the spine. That range closest to us trails off and fades to the ground before reaching the right side. Others stay relatively flat and even grow to the end. I designed the concept of this cover to reflect the various courses your retirement portfolio can take. The back cover is your course of your retirement. The back cover is your working years. The spine is your retirement, and the front is your retired years. The dark mountain ranges in the front are those portfolios built on a fixed income. In the introduction, we discussed the popular notion that life comes in 2 phases: accumulation years, climbing up the mountain or as our nest egg grows, followed by the decumulation, walking down the other side as we spend it down our retirement nest egg. These dark mountain ranges reflect that strategy, hoping that you run out of time before you run out of money. The lighter ranges, as we move towards the background, are more equities in the portfolio. The dark ranges are more stable. Their value does not fluctuate as much. They are safe until they run out of money. The light mountain ranges are much more unstable. But those who adopt them early and in their working years had more when they retired and more at the end of their life. You cannot go back and change what has happened in the back cover of your life. It has already passed. Where you invested in the past has generated how much money you have now. The past is the past, the back is the back. We cannot change that. But you can impact what happens on the front cover. You can choose what happens with the rest of your life. You can choose where your mountain ranges end up. Will you walk down the mountain hoping you don't get to the bottom before you pass away? Or will you keep climbing? Will your mountain range fade off into nothing, paying your funeral expenses and leaving a paltry sum to your loved ones? Or will it continue to grow throughout your retirement, generating an income that encourages generosity and leaving a legacy to your children and grandchildren, churches and charities? Choose the better option for your family. Choose now to forsake door number 2, the people outlive the money. Instead, choose door number 1, the money outlives the people and leaves a legacy of blessing to the world. We'll have that full transcript of that episode on the blog for this. You can go to retirementorship.com/93. Reference a bunch of other topics, some of which we've covered on the podcast. So there'll be links through all that to all those different subjects and different topics that we've covered. And so you're welcome to check those out. And again, this book is free for all Retire members, which is completely free to sign up. And there's links to that in the show notes of the podcast or in the description of the YouTube video here. So I invite you to do that, read the whole book, and of course, to adopt this method, to leave a legacy, and to have a successful retirement. Merry Christmas to you and yours. God bless. If you enjoyed that, you would love being part of our free membership community. It's called Retire Membership, and it has a host of benefits, all for free. For example, you can always buy my book, 3D Retirement Income, on Amazon. But if you join us at Retire Membership, we will send you either a hard copy or paperback for free, provide the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen to it if you don't have time to read it. In addition to that, we'll also provide you with a bunch of content that you can't get anywhere else. For example, we have our quarterly Retire Mentorship magazine, which comes out quarterly and has no ads whatsoever. It's just timely content to help you stay the course. We also have workbooks for our free online workshop to help you get the most out of those, flowcharts to help you make better decisions, and a weekly email to provide timely content that you can unsubscribe from at any time. We never ask for any payment information, and we never share your information with anyone else. We just want to provide timely content and help you stay the course to retire successfully and stay successfully retired. There's no reason to wait, so join us now at retiremembership.com, where you can click in the link in the description and it'll go right there. We can't wait to see you in the community. Cheers. This podcast is educational only and is not investment, tax, or legal advice.